the same time. And when I say, for example, we have 500 natural disasters a year that should not be occurring. And this just happened in the last 2 to 3 years. So we are definitely heading towards something not good. All the evidence does show it's pointing to. And then on top of all the physical evidence and scientific evidence and the cyclic evidence, we have prophecy that for some reason it all seems to mesh with what we believe scientifically is going to happen. Oh, and with regard to your last question, it does make kind of sense because we don't try, as scientists, we don't try to make add or our interpretation to what things are said that we cannot prove or disprove. We don't say that certain legends meant this. We just take them for what they said. So when you said, well, what does this mean? The Mayans could have simply said, when this event happens, the harvesting of souls, it could simply have meant that many people will die. And, of course, they would in this event. So I would stay away from the coast.
There are ways to prepare that you've been talking about, but there's no way to prevent it. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's no way to prevent it. We'd have to change the course of the solar system, it's been very consistent for, ever since the solar system formed. It just cyclically moves up and down the galactic plane, and this event happens over and over again. We can see this cyclic event very clearly solidified in, I don't know how many pole shifts back it would have been, but we can clearly see it solidified at least 600,000 years by looking at the Antarctic and Greenland ice core samples, which measure year to year the temperature and the CO2 atmospheric concentration that's locked in the ice core sample during those years. This cyclic pattern is extremely repeatable over the last 600,000 years.
I wonder if, as things get closer, let's say we're a couple of days away from it really hitting the fan, would you predict that somebody comes forward, the president makes an announcement, hey, everybody, get ready, do what you can to get ready for it, but it's coming?
Well, I actually don't believe there would be warning. I think we are given all the warning we're going to be given. We're seeing all the signs. We know we know scientifically that if there is this galactic plane, as the ancients tell us, at the new quantum physicists tell us today would be the effects, and the astrophysicists tell us that if the center of our galaxy is a black hole, supermassive black hole and spinning, this would be a wave sitting there. The astronomers tell us we're heading toward it. There's no turning back. All the sciences are merging together to say that there's going to be basically no warning. It's simply like the day in 705 BC where the Earth stopped and shifted direction and released and went in its normal direction again. There was no warning for that. In this particular case, there won't be any warning as well, I don't believe. It will happen very quickly.
One of the criticisms I've seen of the Horizon Project, and, of course, you're going to have people who are going to criticize you and dispute your findings. One of the things I saw online in preparing for the program was something written about Dr. Brooks Agnew, who is listed on your website as one of your scientific advisors. I think he's a physicist, and they criticize him for being a believer in the hollow earth theory. What do you say to that?
Well, like I said, each of the universities and scientists that we deal with, they have their own pet reasons for going to the North Pole. I do believe that is one of his reasons. We don't have any scientific evidence whatsoever, and I don't believe he has either. But I can't speak for him. His reason and some of the people who are backing him in this expedition want to check out certain anomalies that he keeps to himself while at the North Pole on this expedition. But we are coming on this expedition for our own reasons and our own intent. But the scientists that we deal with are the top-notch scientists around the planet, and we do have not advisors. He is not an advisor. He does provide information along with many geophysicists, linguistics, geologists, astrophysicists. So he is just one of at least 150 scientists.
You must get an awful lot of grief from others.
In terms of, people are in denial. They want to think the world continues the way it does. For example, the scenario of 705 BC, it is so well clearly documented. Anybody who really wants to look at it can. And the information that we have is presented by NASA. It's presented by quantum physicists around the world. The thing that we do that nobody else does is we pull it all together. The way science is structured today, everybody specializes. In fact, the specialization is too specific, so that since there's no incentive to cross-correlate information from, say, astrophysics to geology to genetics to quantum physics, or any ancient technology lost, or mitochondria DNA, because there's no incentive to have all of these different groups of scientists talk to each other, because they can't talk to each other anyway because they speak different languages and they don't know what piece of information they have that may solve a puzzle in another field. They don't. That's where we have created this years ago, and we go and gather the information to assist in solving these problems, and they work with us in order to, reconcile the differences as the information from other fields is brought to their attention. So
you mentioned 150 scientists. I didn't see 150 names on your site. Are there a lot of these guys who don't want their names associated with it, or would prefer?
The vast majority of people we associate with, we provide a list. We provide a list of references that some of these have written. If you look on the notes page, I think it's over 50 different names. I think that's all we provide on our site. The three people that you see, their physical pictures are there because we have little clips from the interview in the first DVD that we've sent out.
I see.
That's the only reason their picture was there. Otherwise, their picture wouldn't be there at all.
So what do you want people to do? Obviously, one thing you want them to do is go to your website and take a look at this stuff.
Well, what we're doing is we are finishing up Prophecy. We have several thousand more documents. Like I said, we just went to the Middle East, where literally there's over 14,000 different documents and fragments of documents prophesying what's coming up. Combining that with the other prophecies around the world and different cultures, within the next few months we will have compiled this and we'll have a final report, and I'd love to be able to come and share that with you.
Okay, well, count on it. Brent Miller of the Horizon Project, very interesting discussion. When we come back, we're going to open up the phones and hear what questions our listeners have for you. Stay with us, everyone, on Coast to Coast AM.